like it starts from the top. I'm not talking about like the top as the culture of the top influence us doing what we're doing. It's just how everything's structured financially. Everything is like on purpose.
How is it structured financially?
No,
Example,
let me.
okay,
See, I like when he start raising his voice. I like this.
It's like the rich and the poor. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
The poor, most of the time, is us. The whole culture, schools, financing, all of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? When you go to a higher, income neighborhood, people don't act that way. When you go to a lower income neighborhood, it breeds a lot of nasty stuff.
I mean, no, higher income neighborhoods have nasty shit too.
It's
not
just
to the
different.
capacity
It's just
of the
different.
lower
It's just
income
different.
neighborhood,
But
though.
this
and
is
the culture inside of it too.
But listen, all the shit, right?
I understand what you're saying.
Look, it's like this, right? When you're talking about whoever's at the top of the hierarchy or whatever,
Where the fuck you going?
everyone who's at the top of the hierarchy or whatever, it's like the people at the bottom, they're just doing shit, right? Whatever works starts to work. It starts to be a trend. They figure it out. They see which one works, and then they use it to their advantage. It goes from the bottom to the top, but the top has the power to do whatever that they want with it. So it's just like
But they really don't, because they can decide what they want to do with it. But if we don't feed into their narratives, then it doesn't matter.
Because it's a two-part thing. So it's just like if you create an invention right now, right? They're not going to give you any restrictions on what you create. You create something right now, how to fly or whatever, they're going to let you do it. Then they're going to let Quan do his own fight to see which one got the best. And then they'll just take it from you, have their own restrictions. So you understand what I'm saying?
But if they put it on the shelves, but after production, distribution, and store placement, if nobody fucking buys it, then it has no value.
Yeah.
So if no one feeds into the machine has nothing to feed off of.
What's the results of it though?
Nothing. Everything stays the same. That's the point that I'm making.
Okay, so instead of having great foods, great parks, great this and great that, you have all the negatives, right? But you as an individual want to fight it. What about everybody else?
What do you mean?
I don't give a fuck about everybody else.
No. Elaborate
I'm
what
talking
you're
about
saying.
as a group.
I get what he's saying is, okay,
Because
cool.
I could be strong enough to look past all of that
Okay.
and be me. But what about everybody else?
Well, that's why
What
people-
about the 6-7 people who
They
already
need to have
had a-
sense
had
of
a-
self.
How do that?
What do you
do
mean?
that? What I mean is that I
He's
could be
saying
me.
he can do the right thing, but then there's a bunch of other people that's going to do whatever they want. That's what he's saying.
But that goes with anything.
Exactly.
That goes with anything, because even the rich, they have their own shit. It's like nobody told you to go take a bunch of coke or do this or do that.
Yeah,
You
but
got the
it's
same
there.
shit.
It's
You
there.
got rich people that got wealthy selling jewelry and they don't believe in real estate, and there are people that are wealthy
That's
selling
an
that
individual.
own real estate and don't believe in jewelry.
I'm talking about in a community aspect. What keeps like 6-7 guys all the time for years standing in front of the corner store not doing nothing?
Because they have nothing else to do.
Or why
No.
does it keep happening?
Why does it keep happening?
Lack of information.
Yeah,
And
basically.
then when they get the information, they don't see the results. You got to think about it, bro. If we coming up in a community, right, where you see the only person that has money is the guy that sold drugs, the guy that was a stick-up kid, the gang members. I mean, yeah, you're gonna see that. So that's why they'll gear towards those types of people more. But when you see that there are other people in your community that look like you that don't do those things and they get different results.
Okay, so in
And
that
not-
particular
and-
neighborhood, wait. In that particular neighborhood, what is the commonality of somebody doing the right thing and a bunch of people doing the wrong thing?
In what particular neighborhood?
But this
I'm
is
talking about in that lower income environment that predominates us.
yes, but you
When you go outside.
you have to think about the mindset of it, right? You got to think about what's being fed to them, meaning all they see is end results, right? Even the drug dealer that's driving the Benz, they're not seeing when he was nickel and diamond. They're seeing the end result.
He still put in work.
He still had to put in work.
That's a fact.
So now when they're watching on TV and they see white people or whatever the case may be, it could be generational wealth. Somewhere down that line, someone had to put work.
and
No one's thinking about it like that.
And with that comes a lot of perspective, because there are white people that live in affluent neighborhoods that have shell companies that sell a shitload of drugs too. But no one knows it because of how
Yeah.
they carry it. It's the same way like that scene in Paid in Full. He was when Ace went
Yes.
to pick up the dry cleaning from Lulu, the Hispanic dude, and he's like, "Oh well, you're not a drug dealer." He's like, "Why not? Why I'm not a drug
Yeah.
dealer?" He's like, "Cause you dress nice. Yeah, you dress nice." He's like,
He said, no, you said your friends dress nice. He said, nah, they dress nice, but you dress
nice. And because of
how he carried himself, how he spoke, what he wore, and where he kept his money in diamonds and shit and real estate and shit like that, that doesn't make him any different than
Yeah.
Kermit the Frog ass nigga that was standing outside
Facts.
in the hallway
Facts.
selling $100 crack rock. They both drug dealers.
Yes.
But one fits the stigma of a what's the word I'm looking for? Of a traditional drug dealer, while the other one just doesn't.
Not
fit
even
the-
a tradition. What they taught you to be traditional.
What they taught you
What
to
they
be
taught you to be traditional.
Yeah,
Because
Exactly.
I know the Kennedys, they were bootleggers, right? They were selling liquor. There's always a new lick.
What was the Boston Tea Party about?
Yeah, so a lot of it, because I really, this is gonna be a common thing, is this victim shit. Like, I get what they told us or what they did, but this is where you mix in how you feel with what really is. And this is why they'll be like, yo, you guys have everything, you're winning. We do have everything. We just choose not to fucking use the shit the way that we want to.
Because we have our own privileges, bro.
We have a lot of privilege.
We have our own privileges, bro. You
and-
sucked your teeth, you don't believe that?
It's different perspectives. Yes.
What do you
No,
mean?
no, then tell me your perspective.
Now the perspective is okay. You have the resources, but you don't have the character or the knowledge to use it properly because you're influenced around your environment.
But hear what you just said? Because of what you see other people doing, that you don't have the ability to do something? That doesn't make
Well,
sense.
no,
No,
it's
no,
not
no.
that it doesn't make sense. I mean, this is how humans are.
That's what I'm trying
Like
to
to the
explain.
core, we are influenced by our environment
That's
a
what I'm
lot.
trying
I
to
get it. But
But that shit starts at home, bro.
no, it does.
I'm gonna be
start-
honest with you.
I mean, but it's,
I can't go home and tell my mother that I did anything because my friend did it.
But
She's
whoa,
gonna
whoa,
slap
whoa.
the shit out of me.
Where do you live for that home?
I
to
was
be?
in the hood. I was in.
yeah, I
It
mean,
didn't
most
make
of
a
us.
difference. We all grew up in the
We all
hood,
grew
bro.
up- we all grew up a little
Because
different.
I can't tell my mother, yo, I got in trouble for this because my friend did that. She's
Yeah.
gonna beat the shit out of me.
But the thing though is that most people are influenced by other people.
No,
Us, we're
everyone,
individuals, we
everyone,
can rise above
no,
that.
everyone is influenced by other people. It's like we're
Yeah,
in this
everyone
one.
to an extent. 'Cause
To an
I'm
extent.
influenced by other
But
people, but who am I
but
influenced by?
the thing is, where it gets crazy and tricky goes back to the gratification, right? Because we're all trying to do something easy. No one actually wants to put in the work. So now, when you are in the hood, let me just sell drugs, even though you got to put in lots of hours just to do that shit.
That shit is not.
It's a lot of
yeah.
hours. I remember in what was it, Get Rich or Die Trying, and he was putting the difference between certain people. It was almost like working minimum wage. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like working minimum wage.
But
But
a lot
it
of drug
seems,
dealers that don't have money.
yeah, it seems like the fast way. And so ultimately it goes down to the individual. Because you'll have guys who've been selling nickel and dimes for 10, 15 years. And you just got the guy that accelerates. It depends on who wants it more. And then you got this thing called perception where you can fucking mold it however the fuck you want it. Whether it's you or mold someone else's perception of you. You can make your nickel and diamond ass seem like you're larger than life because you're getting an attention. It seems cool and all of that bullshit.
That's what social
You know what I'm saying?
comes
That's
in.
where social media magnify it. So now when you're watching, it's like if you really notice, you'll see something, you'll see it today, and then you'll see it again. Different people. Like maybe like 2-3 weeks ago, you just saw different people fighting in the airport. You didn't notice it was like back to back to back to back. It's all these things running in your mind.
That's why.
It's going viral.
Yeah.
It's going viral. And you know what? I just subconsciously, it's there. But the actions are already in us. It's up to us to not act like that.
Exactly.
The-